How to get everything you want. You're listening to the right episode of the Loan Officer Leadership Podcast, powered by the Mortgage Marketing Animals. And I'm excited about today's topic because Carl and I are going to talk about how to get whatever you want. And so whatever you want, let's go, Carl. What are we going to do, my man?
You know how to get whatever you want. Man, I've circled the planet quite a few times, Steve. A good handful more than you. I started the journey earlier, for a longer time than you have, and I was doing some thinking when I was flying back last night. Me and the lovely Mrs. White took a little trip, and I love these little 3-day trips. Right, you fly out one day, you hang out for 2, and then fly home late that evening, something like that. Little simple trips are really a lot of fun, and you want to kind of, I don't know, this is not the right word, but if you want to spice up, I don't mean spice up necessarily, but it'll do that too.
Yes.
But like if you want to brighten up your relationship, go spend some time. Little 3-day trips. It doesn't have to be a week or 2 weeks, just little 3-day trips. It's very enjoyable. But anyway, so I was flying back and I was thinking about this topic: how to get whatever you want.
What a great thought too, man. How to get
it is, and dude, it's so doable. So I think the first thing, I think step one, how to get whatever you want. I think step one is to figure out,
what do you want?
Yes.
Isn't that funny? Well, you know what though? We don't take enough time to do it because I think in the busyness of life, Carl, people are always telling you what they want. Like it's like, hey, you need to do this and you need to do this, and everybody else has a vision for your life. And then you stop and it's like, well, what about what I want? I don't even know what I want,
Yeah, I remember there was this lady, gosh, I'll think of her name in a minute. There was this lady one time told me, Carl, you're giving your ink pen to too many people.
Ooh. Oh,
and
that's
Lee Miltier. Lee Miltier.
Yeah.
And she was a speaker, right? And she took a shine in a business way, of course. She took a shine to me and really helped me out with some stuff. So she said, I was telling her about some stuff I was going through. She says, Carl, it's your life. It's your story. It's your ink pen. Wow. You write the story. You decide who the co-stars are. You decide who's part of it. You're the director. You're everything. And you're handing your pen to other people. Don't do that. That's your pen. Now, they have their pen for their story, but this is your story. This is your pen.
Yeah.
And that really spoke to me. And so it's like, how to get whatever you want. Well, first of all, decide what you want, and take the darn word realistic. We call it the R word around here. Take the word realistic out of the conversation.
Yep.
Right. Because Steve, the things that you and I have accomplished, I think we were kind of raised in the same economic, some level. I might have been one step beneath you there on the economics, but I was definitely raised as the working poor. And, if my father grew up in a house with no floors, like literally dirt floors, in rural Georgia, in rural Florida. And, so you have to take the word realistic and go, all right, well, what do you want?
Yeah.
And not use what's possible. Cause I think that's what holds us back is, well, what's possible? No, screw that. What do you want? Like, what do you want? And so I think you have to begin with the end in mind, and then we start reverse engineering it. So first you have to figure out like whatever you want. And I think when we do that, Steve, I think we need help with that.
Yeah.
Like for me, I think I need to be sitting either with the lovely Mrs. White, or maybe in my business life with you, Steve. I hang out with somebody else that frankly will help me push through those fears and self-doubts that we all have.
Yeah.
Right. I think everybody walks around with imposter syndrome at some level, some more than others, but at some level for sure. And so I think when I'm figuring out whatever I want, I need to be with somebody. So I like hanging out with you when I talk about these kinds of things. The lovely Mrs. White. I've got an uncle of mine, Dale, who's been very influential throughout my life. He's really more of a brother
Yeah.
Than an uncle. I think he's 1 year, maybe 2 years older than me. So we're like brothers, and I got an awesome brother, but Dale's, he's like a brother to me. And so we dream together, and I call it dreaming. It's really planning, and it's not even planning, it's deciding what do we want.
Mm.
And then once we've decided what we want, that's kind of like, where do you want to go? And so if I want to decide where I want to go, I need two things. I need, number one, where am I going?
Mm-hmm.
And then number two, where am I at?
It's so good. So simple.
You know,
Hey, but
but
let
then,
me say one thing about
all right,
what you want. You know what? And I love that phrase. We say it all the time. Take the word you see, you're the one that really just continues to challenge us in take the word realistic out of it. You know what I like about that, Carl, is I think part of what we want, if it's attainable, then most people immediately think, well, I've got to work more hours and I've got to get a little bit busier. And you know what happens is, Carl, they say, well, I'm already redlining in the hours. It's totally uncool with my family. And how do I get it if I have to do more? Versus when you do something that's unrealistic and it's so far. And I love that when you dream with others, they can challenge you, because the more unrealistic it is, the more you have to change. Like you can't just add more hours, you have to do it totally different. Like it requires a different way of thinking. And I like that, because it breaks we just did an episode, we were talking about do the activities that are worth $30,000. Well, that's a mindset shift. And I think when it's unrealistic, it now means more hours won't achieve it, so we've got to find a different way. And that's where masterminding, like you and I, every time I'm with you, I'm like, whoa, man, I can 10x it, which would be way easier than just growing 10%, because now I've got to shift how I'm doing it. And I love that, unrealistic.
and I got a visual when you're saying that, dude. You're so meticulous with your words. I got this vision. I just spent a couple of days in Oklahoma and saw a lot of the cowboy stuff and wagon
Yeah.
training. And I just got the envision we're sitting here in Florida, and we're saying, hey, we want to go to California, and we got a horse out there, right? And we go, well, I need to get to California. That's going to take about 6 months.
Yeah.
How can I do it in 6 hours? Impossible. No, it's not impossible.
Mm.
We need to figure out how to fly.
Mm.
And so, it might go back a little bit to that old thing Anthony Robbins says, I know you can't, but if you could, what would it look like?
Dude, that's such a good question.
Yeah. And so we want to get to California. It's going to take 6 months. I know we can't, but if we could, what would it look like to get there in 6 hours? Well, God, you'd have to fly. All right. So we need to figure out how to fly.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So there's always a way. It's just like, I got to figure that out. So I think to get whatever you want, number one, you have to figure out, what do you want?
Yep.
Number two, you have to figure out, where am I at now? And then I think the third part of that is, what tools do I have available to me to get to those things? And so if I want to go from A to B, I need to know, where's A, where I'm at, where's B, where I'm going, what tools are available to me that for me to use to get whatever I want. So like if I'm, let's put it in loan process. If I'm currently at whatever, 3-4 loans a month.
Yep.
And I want to get to 12. So then we are, all right, what tools do I have available to get to that? And by the way, it's not that we want 12 loans a month. It's that we want the money from it.
The freedom.
Actually, we don't even want the money.
Yeah.
We want what the money will get us. We want that new car, that house, the education for the kids, the new ring for the whatever those things are. Or I want to go help this other family, like whatever those things are. And then take a look at what tools are available. And I think the third thing, so we need to know, where am I at? Where am I going? What tools are available? And then I have to believe that anything is possible.
Yeah.
And not just that, well, sure, Tammy Saul can close 57 loans for the month, right? Which she did. I have to believe I can do it too. Right? I have to believe that I can do it too. Or I might say, hey, I want my branch to close 300 loans for the month. Oh, sure, Carl's branch does.
Yeah.
Steve branch might, but I can't. So you have to believe anything is possible, right? And then I think the next step is to put it in writing, because that adds clarity to it. This is what I'm going to do. I'm putting it in writing. And then here's a piece that I think it's all important. Make a declaration. Make a declaration. So I'm going to get on the phone and I'm going to say, hey, Steve, here's what I'm doing. So that my brother, that if I start, not if, when I start getting us off track, my brother or my sister say, hey, Carl, whoa, wait a minute, buddy. I thought you said this, doing it out of love, but holding me accountable, and having a coach, or having somebody that kind of has what you want.
Yes.
Right. That's already been there. Somebody that's already in that end spot that you're looking for, talking you on. And I think making a declaration is a very powerful thing. That's where, the things like Weight Watchers and, those things is you make a declaration. And I think that's a real important thing too. So where am I at? Where am I going? What tools are available?
Yep.
Believe it's possible.
Put it in writing. Yep. Make a declaration. Hey, and I think the last one I would add is join a community that will encourage your growth to what it is you're going. Like, I think part of that is when I'm putting it in writing, I'm making a declaration. The community you're a part of is so important. We talk about drafting, in NASCAR. Why don't you share that real quick? Because, I think there are people right now that are listening, and you say, man, I got a plan, I got a strategy, I think I can do it. The challenge is you're missing the community piece, because what happens is when you join people that are a little further ahead, you can literally bump draft. And where you would run a certain speed by yourself, when you join a community, you actually go faster
with less energy.
You're part of that.
With less energy.
Well, yeah, and with the people you like, the people you trust, the people that are already going in.
So it's direction. Like, man, it's like, here's the problem. When I go to do things on my own, right? All of us, right? Myself included, of course, like everybody, is I think I'm a piece of thread.
Yep.
And the problem with a piece of thread is, as soon as you put a little bit of stress on that thread and give it a little bit of stress, what happens to that piece of thread?
Oh, it breaks.
It breaks easily, right? Because it's just one piece of thread. That's all it is. But if you take that thread and you wrap it with other threads, it becomes a rope.
Oh yeah, and
now when we pull on that rope,
you're
not going to break it, right? You can pull on that, and it takes it'll pull way more when that thread is wrapped with other threads. A lot more you can take a lot more stressors, a lot more tension, right? A lot more challenges. Because you have the strength of all the other threads pulling together. So I like the thread and the rope thing. I can really relate to that. So
hey, and if you're listening today and you say, hey, I'd like to learn more about the community and how the marketing animals can help me with my plan and help hold me accountable and challenge me in my thinking and where I'm at, where I'm going, what tools are available, which are so many, to help you in your success, as well as the belief and put it in writing declaration, go to freedomplanningcall.com, freedomplanningcall.com. We'd love to, Carl, myself, Kristen, one of our team members, would love to just walk you through a plan that can help you today achieve your freedom in the life you're dreaming of. So freedomplanningcall.com. Carl, man, I love this. How to get whatever you want. What a very simple and easy to implement thoughts and strategies to really live a life of freedom.
And as you're listening to this, I just want you to know that we believe that you are worthy. Yes. Why are you doing this? Just our belief system, right? That our maker is the way you and I are the way we think, Steve. Yep. That your maker has deemed you as worthy of great things, and you just got to identify them, name it, claim it, ask for it, map it out, and you're worthy of it, and your greatness awaits. Looking forward to seeing what you make a declaration of. I love, by the way, watching other people when they make declarations of, hey, here's what I'm going to do in the next 12 months. And here's how I'm going to do it. Dude, it feeds me more. When I go, I think I've mentioned a couple of times here, I just got back from Oklahoma and met a couple of the people in our group there. And dude, just hearing their story is,
Yeah.
it's remarkable. So anyway, hey, thanks a lot. We appreciate you guys listening in. Take us home, Steve.
All right, guys. Hey, remember this. Anything we're doing is worth doing badly. Just get started. See ya.